In this video, we are going to look at how we can render the list. You can see here I have a list or array of string and I am rendering it as an index directly. So employee 0 will show John, employee 1 will show Bob, and employee 2 will show Nick, like this. But this is not how we render the list. To do so, we need to iterate over the list. Good part of React is it is heavily dependent on JavaScript, so we can directly use the available methods. To iterate over array or to do a loop, we have a map function, for loop function, and others as well. In this video, I'm going to use map function. Also, here we are going to see two examples, mainly array of objects and string array. So let's look for array of object. First, create a data for that. And as we are using TypeScript, let me define the interface. Interface I employee. Interface is a blueprint of object. It defines the shape of object by specifying the names of property, their types, and whether they are optional or required. So here, as an employee, we will need ID, which can be a number or string, any type. So this is the property name, and here is its type, whether it's a number or string or any. If you don't know what it can be, so we can define the any or undefined, like this. So I'm using here ID as a number. Then we will need name. Name will be string, and last property is designation. This is also string. Now let's define the data here. So const employees. In JavaScript, we have three keywords to define the variables: const, var, and let. If you are aware about it, it's good. If not, just follow as it is, like I'm doing. So here I have defined const employees, and its type will be IEmployee array. So it will be of type employee, which we have defined here, and array of that employee. Here we need to define array and as an object. So I have copied the data. It have ID, name, and designation. Okay, and it will show the error. So let's remove this, because previously we have the string array and now we have the array of object. So to iterate over the atoms, we are going to use the map function. Let's jump to the browser and search here map function in JavaScript. I want you to be good at searching or googling, so that's why I'm doing. We just need to go on developer.mozilla.com, click on this site. Here we will get the examples and definition also. So map methods create a new array populated with the results of calling a provided function. In simple word, it means map function is like a built-in array method that allows iterating over each elements of array. So here we have array, and map iterates over each elements, applying the operation to each element. Means once we iterate over atom, we can perform some operation and return a modified data. So let me show you some example, or let's copy this and jump to the new Queka tab. Here I am pasting it. So what's happened, like here we have a array and we are iterating over this. So let me do the console.log at this place, and let's print the x value. If you see the result here, you will find 1, 4, 9, and 16. That is the elements from the array. Okay, and once we do like x into 2, it means when we get 1, it will multiply by 2 and will return 2 first. When we came to the second index with value 4, it will multiply by 2 and we will get 8. For 9, it will be 18, and for 16 it will be 32. So this is how map returns the result by performing some operation, and it returns the same length as a input array. So the result array length and input array length will be same. Okay, I hope you get the map function. Let me delete it, and we are going to use it here. So how we can use? First, we need to use the employees, and employee will have the map method in it, and inside that we will get element by element. So I'm taking this in a employee. Don't name it as like X, Y, Z. Give it a specific name. Here I have mentioned employees, which denotes a list, and here I am denoting employee, which denotes the single employee. And then we need to write the arrow function. This is arrow function, and here we will have the arrow body, a console.log, and right here employee. Let's save this, go to the application and inspect the code, jump to the console. Here you will find we have the console log of all the employees. Okay, so if we do .id, we will get id. If we do .designation, we will get designation. Let's remove this and write here li. We need to print here name. So employee dot name to print the name. Let's take this result in a variable. So I am writing here const and employee list. So all the result will come into employee list, and now we can use this inside the return statement or return JSX. How we can do? We need to wrap inside the curly braces, and here we need to use this variable. That's fine. Save it. This is what it will show. One thing I wanted to talk here. This is the arrow function, and we can write a single statement like this. Means we can write this inside the parenthesis, and it will be automatically written. It is considered as a return statement. But suppose you have a lot of code to write here, and we need to wrap this inside the curly braces here at the last curly braces. And when we write curly braces, it will not return this by default. We need to write here return. To make sure, when you write the curly braces, you can write here multiple code, and then you will need to return the statement. But when we use a single line, that can be directly written. Okay, that's fine. Inspect it, go to the console. Here it is showing some error like each child in the list should have a unique key prop. It is saying like we need to add a unique data and pass it as a key prop. And after that, we have here a link to read some more details about this warning. I will recommend you to read this article because it is maintained by the React community itself, and the new documents are very well documented. Okay, let's jump to our code, or let's jump to warning. It is saying we need to add the key prop with unique data. So how we can do is, so here we need to pass key and some unique data. What we have uniqueness in this data? We have unique as a name, designation is also unique, and ID is also unique. But the name and designation can be same and can be duplicated in other data also, but ID will not be duplicated. So in key, we can use the ID like employee.id. So the warning has gone. Further, what we can do, we can update the message like John is a. Next, we need to use the designation also. So employee dot designation. This will show like John is a manager, Bob is a CEO, Nick is a lead. And with this, use this code instead of employee list and write in the JSX directly. Or let's remove this and fine. This is how also we can write. Now in further discussion, we will look why we need a key and why it is so important to write it here. Let's take another example. Let me remove all this, and instead of array of object, we will just have a array of string. Like, let's remove this and write here John, Bob, Nick, and remove this as well. Remove the key, remove everything from here, and just use employee. Why? Because we are iterating on employees, and here employee will point to the first element, that is John, then second element, that is Bob, and third element, that is Nick, and that can be directly used. But here it will show same error, like each child in a list should have a unique key prop. So let's check what uniqueness we have. With this example, we have the names or the data itself is unique. We can directly use a key, and we can pass employee as a key, as it is unique. Let's save it. Here you will not find the error now. Error is gone now. But if consider we have a John again at last, and save it. Now check. Encounter two children with the same key. So here John is repeated. So we cannot pass employee as a key. So other thing we can pass is the index. Like this is the 0 index, this is sec 1 index, this is 2 index, and this is 3 index. Okay. So index is unique here, and I have seen many people using the index as a key. So let's see its pros and cons. So I have, if you look for the map, this is nothing but a callback function. So how we can do, we can like use it like const get list, something like this, and paste it here. Okay. Employee, we need to define here type. Employee will be of type string, and index will be of type number, and this get list we will need to write it here. That's how it will work as a callback function. Okay. So map gives us a value, then second is the index, and third is a whole list, array list. So we are using here index, second parameter, and this index we can use as a key. Let's save it. The error is gone again, and this is fine. The issues start after this. Let me show you a few examples. Okay, let's comment out this, and let me write return react fragment, and I have already created one example to show you, that is array e example. This is a component, so we use like this, and we need to close the tag and save it. Now jump to the browser. Here you can see we have two example without index as a key, and here we have example with index as a key. And you can see here whatever the array index we get, I'm printing it here, and I'm using id, which I'm going to increase by one count whenever we add a record, and this is the atom where we can insert the data. So let's do, I'm printing here a 1. Now add a new record at the end, so the index is 1 now, and id is increased to 2, and I can add here data like 2. Fine. Now add one more record at the end. The index is increased by 1, that is 2, and id is increased by 1, the id is 3, and let's write 3 here. So when I insert a new record at the start, let's do it. You can see the record is inserted at index 0, and id is increased by 1, so that's why it is showing 4, and atom don't have any value. But when we work with the index as a key, let's do the same thing. Here also we have index, then id, and atom, same thing. Let's add here 1, then add new to end, index 1, id 2. Let's add here 2, do it one more time, and add here 3. As of now it's going well, but when I insert a record at the start, you can see the newly record is added at index 0, its ID is 4. If you see, the data which we added for ID 1, 2 and 3 is used by index 0, 1 and 2. It should work like this, but it is not showing like this. Why? Because when we use index as a key, it is used like this. Like here is a key which we pass, and this is the index value 0, 1, 2. When we add a new record at the start, new key is added at index 0, and that's why key remains 0, 1, 2, and a new key is added at the last. But React considers like and compare, like we already have key 0 with value 1, then we have key 1 with value 2, and we have key 2 with value 3. So it doesn't render this again, and it founds like key 3 is a new. That's why it shows it empty. And this is how it happens, and it shows the wrong result. And same thing happen with when we do the sorting and filtering. So why we need key as a unique, or why React needs a key? Key prop helps React identify each atom uniquely and efficiently resolve the changes in the list. It helps React optimize updates and ensure correct behavior when working with dynamic lists. Means when we add anything new in the list, it doesn't re-render the data which is already having that key. That's why like React identifies here we have already 0, 1, 2 keys, and it doesn't re-render that, and it re-renders the next one. So that's why it avoids unnecessary re-rendering. So React uses key prop to track an efficient update list when changes occur. When a list is re-rendered, React needs to determine which atom have been added, removed or rearranged. Having a unique key prop allows React to quickly identify the difference and update only the necessary elements rather than re-rendering the entire list. So it means like using the index as a key is not a efficient way, or is not a correct way. So when we can use index as a key? So remember few things. When list should have a unique data, then it should be a static list, means no data insertion, deletion or updation should be performed, and make sure filtering, sorting should not be done, as this can cause the issues. When all these three conditions are satisfied, you can safely use the index as a key. Hope you get the concept. We just need to provide a unique data as a key, and that's all for the list.